Okay, so you're thinking about becoming a nanny.
How exciting.
Yeah.
It's a big decision, right? You're going to be like a major part of a family's life, helping little ones learn and grow.
Mm-hmm.
And I see you're already doing your research, RoleCatcher. Good choice.
Always.
But let's be honest, their website, it's got a ton of info.
It does.
It can feel like you're trying to drink from a fire hose.
You're not wrong.
Right.
There's the career guide, interview tips, advice on standing out to recruiters.
Oh, I know.
It's a lot.
It's a lot to process. And who has time for all of that when you're trying to figure out if this is even like the right path for you?
Right.
That's where we come in.
Exactly.
Think of this deep dive as your shortcut to RoleCatcher's best insights for aspiring nannies.
We're cutting through the noise to bring you the need to know, starting with what it actually means to be a nanny these days.
Right. Let's ditch the vague job descriptions and get specific.
Yes.
RoleCatcher's career guide, it paints a really interesting picture. Forget everything you thought you knew about, like nannies of the past. This is not your grandma's idea of childcare.
It's so much more than just playing games and reading bedtime stories.
Although there's still plenty of that.
There is.
Totally. But you're essentially running like a mini preschool
Yeah.
in a family's home.
That's a good way to put it.
Right. We're talking organizing age-appropriate activities, and these days that could mean anything. From building a volcano for a science project
Oh, yeah.
to like teaching kids how to code with educational apps and all that. Don't forget about the logistics.
Oh, right.
Meal prep, homework help, even driving kids to activities.
He has a lot.
It's a multifaceted role.
It is.
And that's just like scratching the surface.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're talking serious multitasking skills here. But here's what I find fascinating. RoleCatcher, they highlight how technology is transforming childcare.
Absolutely.
It's a thing.
It's huge.
Right.
And it's not just about keeping up with the latest educational apps. Nannies need to be comfortable navigating online safety protocols, managing screen time.
Oh, right.
Understanding how tech integrates into a child's learning and development.
That's a side of the job you might not think about right away.
No.
But it makes sense. Technology is such a huge part of kids' lives now.
And it's constantly evolving.
Oh, for sure.
RoleCatcher stresses continuous learning in this field.
Which makes sense, yeah.
It's not just about finding the right apps today. It's about staying ahead of the curve as technology changes.
So you're not just nurturing kids, you're nurturing your own, like, tech skills, too.
Right.
Okay, future nannies, take note.
Write that down.
Now, let's talk about those work environments. RoleCatcher really emphasizes the diversity of families and homes you might find yourself in.
And that's key.
Yeah.
Every family has its own rhythm, its own set of expectations and house rules.
Oh, yeah.
What works for one family might not fly with another.
Totally. It's like every family's different, right?
Yeah.
Walking into a new family's home, it's like stepping into a whole different world.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
And speaking of navigating different worlds, RoleCatcher, they don't shy away from the realities of the job market.
Yeah, no, they're pretty upfront about it.
They get real about the pros and cons of being a nanny, which is something, as an aspiring nanny, you really need to consider.
Definitely.
Right. It's not all playtime and cuddles.
Right.
Although there can be a lot of that.
Which is nice.
Let's talk about those perks first. Because RoleCatcher, they highlight some big ones. Okay, hit me with the good stuff.
Okay, so flexibility, that's a major draw for a lot of nannies. You're not usually tied to a rigid 9-to-5 schedule.
Right.
Which could be awesome for work-life balance.
Huge.
But here's the key insight. RoleCatcher gives tips on how to actually negotiate that.
Oh, interesting.
Like how to actually get that flexibility. Yeah. Okay. So they encourage nannies to think about their ideal schedule up front.
Okay.
And then actually communicate that.
Oh, wow.
During the interview process.
That's so smart. Because it's one thing to say, I value flexibility.
Right.
But it's another to actually have those conversations about, what does that look like in practice?
Exactly. And it sets the stage for a healthy working relationship right from the start.
Totally.
But let's talk about, the most rewarding pro.
Okay, let's do it.
The impact on the kids. You get to be this positive influence in their lives.
That's so cool.
Watch them grow.
Yeah.
Help them learn and explore.
Right.
RoleCatcher has all these quotes in there from nannies talking about how incredibly fulfilling that is.
Oh, I bet. Okay, that's the heartwarming part that, initially drew me to this career path. But, I know it's not always easy.
No.
What about those, con moments
Sure.
RoleCatcher keeps it real about the challenges too,
I
right?
do.
Yeah.
They do. Long or irregular hours. That could be a reality,
Oh, right.
especially if you're working with a family who's got a really demanding schedule.
Right. Yeah.
And as any parent knows, dealing with challenging behavior from kids is part of the deal.
It's part of it. Yeah.
Temper tantrums, anyone,
Yeah, those are never fun.
right?
RoleCatcher, they even have like those sample interview questions
They do,
about handling those tough situations.
which is so helpful. Gives you a
Yeah.
chance to kind of think through your approach beforehand.
Oh, that's great.
Right. But here's the thing. RoleCatcher doesn't just, like, present these cons as deal breakers.
Okay, good.
They frame them as opportunities for self-reflection.
I like that.
Yeah.
It's about like figuring out, are you cut out for this?
Yeah.
Like, are you actually a patient person?
Exactly.
Do you have the energy to keep up with a toddler all day?
All day.
Right. Do you thrive in like potentially chaotic situations?
Precisely. It's about knowing yourself
Mhm.
and honestly assessing if your strengths
Yeah.
and your personality actually align with the demands of the job.
It's about finding the right fit, right?
Yes.
Not just for the family, but for you too.
Exactly.
And that makes me think about like another key part of the job search standing out in a competitive market. And I know RoleCatcher has a whole section about beating those automated recruiting systems,
Oh, yeah, those things.
which honestly still sound kind of scary to me.
Right?
I know, right? Automated recruiting systems?
They feel like something out of a sci-fi movie.
Right.
But RoleCatcher, they break it down in a way that actually makes sense.
Okay, good.
And they emphasize that these systems are way more common than you might think.
Really?
Yeah, a lot of companies use them to kind of filter through applications before a human even sees it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. That's kind of intimidating. It's like, how do you even, I don't know, impress a robot?
That's the thing. It's not about impressing a robot.
Okay.
It's about, like, speaking their language,
Hmm.
right? And RoleCatcher has this really cool feature that analyzes job descriptions
What?
to figure out exactly what keywords and skills employers are looking for.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
So it's like having a secret decoder ring
Yes,
for job applications.
exactly.
That's amazing.
And for nannies, they highlight these 3 essential abilities
Okay.
that pop up again and again:
Hmm?
monitoring,
Okay.
social perceptiveness,
Okay.
and service orientation.
Got it.
And these aren't just buzzwords. These are, like, fundamental to being successful in this role.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. So let's maybe break those down for our listeners a little bit. What do those skills actually look like in action?
Yeah, good point. Let's say you're at the park with the kids.
Yeah.
Monitoring means you're not just scrolling on your phone.
Mhm.
You're actively scanning the environment.
Right.
You're, like, anticipating potential hazards, making sure everyone is safe.
So it's about being present and aware.
Exactly.
Okay.
Now, imagine one of the kids starts getting fussy.
Uh-oh.
Right. That's where social perceptiveness comes in.
Okay.
You're picking up on their cues. Maybe they're tired.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they're hungry. Maybe they're feeling overwhelmed.
Right.
And you're adjusting your approach accordingly.
So it's like having a sixth sense for when a meltdown is brewing
Yes.
and knowing how to like redirect before things escalate.
You've got it.
Okay.
And finally, service orientation. It's all about that, like, proactive, helpful attitude.
Yeah.
Like, you're anticipating the family's needs, whether it's packing extra snacks, organizing the playroom, or just offering a listening ear at the end of a long day.
Oh, yeah. It's those little things,
Right.
that make a big difference. But it's one thing to like have these skills, right?
Yeah.
It's another to be able to articulate them
Yeah.
in a way that's going to resonate with potential employers.
Right.
And of course, RoleCatcher, they've got you covered there too.
They do.
They have a massive database of practice interview questions,
The best.
specifically for nannies.
Yes.
Over 120,000 questions.
That's a lot. Yeah.
It's like they've compiled every single question a family could possibly ask.
It's comprehensive.
Right. They even have advice on how to answer those like really tough ones.
Well, yeah.
You remember those temper tantrums we were talking about?
They've got you covered.
They do.
Okay, that's a lifesaver. Because honestly, knowing how to handle those tough moments
Mm.
with confidence,
Yes.
that's a game changer. It's not just about saying, like, I'm a patient person.
Right.
It's about showcasing your experience
Mm-hmm.
and your problem-solving skills.
Absolutely. RoleCatcher gives you the tools to do exactly that.
Yeah.
They encourage you to, like, prepare specific anecdotes
Oh, smart.
that demonstrate those core skills in action.
Yeah.
So did you use your monitoring skills to, like, prevent an accident?
Yeah.
Did your social perceptiveness help you connect with a child who's having a hard time?
Right.
Share those stories.
Stories are so powerful, right?
They are.
They make your experience come to life.
They make it real.
But let's be real for a sec.
Okay.
Job hunting.
Yeah. It's about more than just nailing the interview.
It's true.
What about things like, I don't know, salary expectations,
Important.
knowing what to look for in a family,
Yeah, that too.
building a long-term career?
Big picture stuff.
Does RoleCatcher address any of that?
They do. They have a whole section on what they call Beyond the Basics.
Okay.
It's packed with valuable resources.
Like what?
They have a career compass to help you define your long-term goals. They have salary insights so you know what to expect in your area.
Oh, smart.
And they even have employer reviews from other nannies.
Wait, employer reviews?
Yeah.
So it's like reading Yelp reviews, but for, like, families.
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
a chance to get the inside scoop on a family's kind of work style,
Interesting.
their communication style, overall expectations.
That's huge.
Yeah.
It's like having, like, a behind-the-scenes look before you even step foot in their home.
Right. It's all about empowering you to make informed decisions.
Yeah.
Throughout this entire process, from the initial job search
Mm.
to navigating your career as a nanny.
So if you're feeling overwhelmed by the idea of becoming a nanny,
Don't be.
don't be. RoleCatcher, it's like having a personal career coach in your pocket.
It is
Right. Guiding you every step of the way.
every step.
And with the right tools and resources, you can confidently navigate this, like, rewarding, fulfilling career path.
You can do it.
You can. What kind of difference do you want to make in the lives of the children and the families that you're working with?
That's the question.
Think about it, explore those resources, and get ready to embark on this amazing journey.